From a one-time Susan Collins voter to a Shenna Bellows voter. I gotta tell you, I can't help remembering when Shenna Bellows approached me in 2008 about joining the marriage equality campaign. Initially, I told her no. As a gay man, I supported civil unions, and I didn't feel that pushing marriage equality was the right thing for our state. Well, after I talked with a lot of people, and thanks to Shenna's incredible example, my thinking evolved. That same evolving and change is happening all over Maine. Not just on marriage equality, but on Susan Collins and on the Senate race. Shenna Bellows is what the future of Maine looks like. She's progressive and hardworking, but Shenna is all down to earth, and she puts people ahead of politics. Who thinks that she has to tell us what we want. She knows what the people of Maine want. We are evolving as a state and a community, and Shenna is already ahead of that curve. That is why it gives me such great joy and honor to introduce our next senator from the great state of Maine, Shenna Bellows.
To be your next United States. Thank you, Bangor. Thank you, Mr. King, for endorsing me. Thank you, Mainers. Thousands of Mainers from all across the state, from over 365 Maine towns, from Kittering to Port Kent, who have helped me raise over $1 million. You see, where I come from, $1 million is a lot of money. I grew up just outside of Ellsworth, in the town of Hancock. My father's a carpenter, and we struggled when I was a kid. One Thanksgiving, my parents realized that they had about $25 left in the checking account and no work coming in to my father's business. To bridge the gap between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my mother went to work at the wreath factory in Ellsworth. After Christmas, she went to work at Surrey Gardens as a greenhouse worker. And that's when we could afford electricity and running water. So I worked through high school and college. I waited tables, I worked retail, I was even a Subway sandwich artist. I understand what it's like to be working class. And I am running for the United States Senate because I believe that working people deserve a voice in Washington. From Eastport to Freiburg. What Mainers are telling me right now is that people are really struggling. There are people working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Students who are struggling under crushing student debt. And some people who are working full-time and just not making it. They are feeling left out and left behind. I will fight for working Mainers. I will fight to raise the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. Fairness. People need work to support their families, and people who work should be able to make enough to put food on the table, to pay their bills, and to have a better life. Now, Too many Republicans in Washington seem to have forgotten what it means to struggle. Republicans in Washington, including my opponent, Republican Susan Collins, voted against equal pay for equal work. They voted against investments in small business. And they even voted against raising the minimum wage. It makes you wonder how someone like my opponent, who makes over $174,000 a year as a member of Congress, can think that $21,000 a year is too much for working Americans. The daughter of a carpenter, I will never forget my working class roots. I will never forget where I come from. Because, you know, when I was a kid, growing up in Hancock, my friends and I, we used to ride our bikes down to Hancock Point. And if you look out across the bay, you can see the mountains of Acadia National Park. I think every Maine kid grows up with an appreciation for Maine's environment, the oceans, the mountains, the woods. But a growing environmental crisis threatens our country's future. Republicans in Washington deny that climate change even exists. And my opponent, Susan Collins, has accepted funding from Big Oil, from ExxonMobil. And despite what you may have heard about her record on the environmental groups give her a score of D. When it comes to the environment, we cannot afford half measures. We cannot afford lackluster leadership in Washington. We need bold, visionary action to confront climate change before it's too late. And in every threat lies an opportunity. Maine, with our tremendous natural resources, can be a world leader in conservation and renewable energy. We can create jobs that leave a cleaner world for our children and a stronger economic foundation for generations to come. Turning these challenges into opportunities for the future won't be easy. Indeed, the pundits and career politicians may say that it's impossible. But here in this hall and all across Maine, we've won many fights that people thought were impossible before. Remember the Mainers United for Marriage campaign? I remember when it came time to make a decision about whether or not to move forward to the ballot. We had lost in 2009, and many people were urging me and other members of the executive committee to wait. The voters aren't ready, they said. It's too soon. You will never win, they said. But they were wrong. And we knew they were wrong because of one solemn truth. A truth that kept us going in that struggle, in this challenge, in this fight. It is never too soon for equality under the law. It is never too soon for freedom and fairness. Remember when Governor Paul Page and the Republicans took control of the legislature in the Blaine House?
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately!
We've seen what happens when Republicans take control. They attack. And one of the first things that they attacked were our voting rights. I crisscrossed the state, leading that campaign, debating Republicans, including Susan Collins' spokesman, who was leading the fight to take away our voting rights. But we won.
Yes,
we won in every At the ACLU, I brought together unusual coalitions. I brought together gun owners and librarians to fight the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
never have to lobby me to vote against torture. The New York Times called me the Elizabeth Warren of civil liberties. Like Elizabeth Warren, I will always stand up. I will always be a voice for the voiceless. I will fight to restore our constitutional freedoms and protect individual liberty and restore public trust in our government again. Now we can win this race, but I need your help to do so. First, I need your wholehearted support. I'm going to tell you something, the secret to our campaign strategy, how we win. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
If every Mainer who voted for Barack Obama votes for me, I will be your next United States. This election is a choice about the future of our state and of our country. The road to victory will not be easy, but nothing worth fighting for ever is. Our history in this country is one of great struggle and great triumph. Time and time again, in our history, the people have risen up to demand change. For workers, for women, for people who have felt left behind and left out. I'm an organizer. Are there any organizers in the room? Good, because organizing is how we win this race. Our campaign will reach all 504 towns in this state. Already, we're traveling all across the state. From Lubec to Elliott, from Dover-Foxcroft to Waldoboro. We are going to the towns that have been left out or left behind. In some ways, Maine is like one large, small town. Grassroots organizing still matters. Those conversations with friends and family members, your neighbors, matter. And we believe in the power of grassroots democracy. We believe that the system may be threatened by dark money and corporate greed, but it is not broken.
That's right.
Because corporations are not people.
No, they're not.
And we believe that we, the people, together can secure a more perfect union. We, the people, together can make a difference. We can make change. Together, we can and we will win.